And my comments will be brief, but I wanted to share with you the fact that it's not sometimes popular to take very, very difficult positions when you're in political office, but I don't do this political office thing for a living. I do it as a service to my community and my state, and I'm proud to do that. And I'm telling you that this is a very, very, very hot potato issue, and while we're all concentrating on the effects of the spill itself, which was an accident, we must not forget the fact that another major catastrophic event happened, which was not an accident, it was intentional, and that was the use of toxic chemicals to treat or to supposedly remediate or drop the oil below the surface, perhaps out of sight, out of mind. Early on, when this all took place, I was contacted by scientists from all over the world, London, from the West Coast, and all parts of the world, and they all had a question for me. Do you know about this stuff, Corexit, and what it's about? And do you know why they're using it? Did you know they use this at Valdez? And 20-something years later, the oil is still there if you dig a foot into the beach. And I said I didn't know much about it, but I did begin to do my research, and to my surprise and disappointment, I found that that this stuff is pretty bad stuff. I went down that following Sunday, on Mother's Day I believe it was, to Hopedale just to find out and see if anybody down there had heard about it. And it was determined very quickly that, and I noticed, there was no protective gear for the wildlife and fisheries of Louisiana, the sheriff's deputies of St. Bernard and the other folks. No protective gear, but yet I heard all about how dangerous this stuff was, and I was wondering, this just didn't add up. And so as I began to do more and more research, to make a long story short, it was determined that because of the fact that a lot of people weren't aware of this, that I would ask the Attorney General to at least do some sort of legal action to cease and desist the use of this toxin, especially since I found out that there are non-toxic solutions out there. Many companies that have many years of track record, a successful track record, that could put together a safe, environmentally sound solution. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. Later, I wrote a letter to the governor, and I was glad to know that he responded, got his DEQ folks as well as other departments on board, and wrote a letter to President Obama. And when President Obama received the letter from the governor, he responded by contacting BP to say to them, please stop using Corexit. So we're glad to see that Obama did respond, but the problem was BP turned around, and it was in all the media, and said, we're not going to discontinue the use of it. We're going to cut back on it, but we're not going to discontinue the use of it. Who is BP, a foreign company, to tell the President of the United States of America what they're going to do, rather than what the President of this country should do and stand up for the people of America? So bottom line here is that this issue is there. It's still with us. I wrote a letter to the President asking him put together a letter with the help of a group of scientists, 11 specific questions. We have a seafood industry right now that's in limbo. They don't know for sure whether or not their product is good or bad. The testing that was done was indecisive. It wasn't thorough. A lot of people, and I think we're going to continue to suffer as we're sitting in this hole right now, basically waiting to see if anything's going to happen, and nobody's addressing this issue. The bottom line here is that our seafood industry is never going to take off like it was before until we get all these answers to this letter that I wrote to the President back in January. No answer, not from anybody with the administration. In fact, I just got a copy of this on the email. It's been interpreted in Russian, and with me here in my hand is a Russian interpretation. So it's been read all over the world, but has it been read by the President of the United States? I would hope so, and I would hope that he would respond. But yet, to this day, we don't have any type of response from the White House. 2 days ago, I was in Washington, and thankfully we've got some people there that really care about what's going on down here. The House Oversight Committee and their attorney group that I met with 2 days ago in Washington was very, very happy to hear that we were actually pushing this issue and getting some sort of resolution. As a result, we hope, and they indicated that we'll be down here in a couple of weeks to be in the street, to talk to folks, to see exactly what's going on. We don't know why non-toxic solutions have not been employed. It's a double-edged sword. They're killing us down here with this stuff. but yet there's a non-toxic solution. So I'll end up by telling you, as the senator for District 1, which covers East St. Tammany, East Orleans, all of Plaquemines Parish except for Belle Chase, and all of St. Bernard Parish, I have a lot of people that want answers to questions. Fishermen and their families, and everyday people that live in these parishes. They want answers to these questions. We deserve answers, they deserve answers, and we're not going to stop until we get the answers. Thank you all for being here.
We want to blame BP and we want to blame the government, and let me tell you, there's a lot to blame there. But really, when it comes down to it, if it wasn't for the fact that we consume and waste so much in the United States, there would not be a need to die or kill for that oil. So not too long after that, I got a chance to speak at the Rally for Economic Survival put on by the Louisiana Oil and Gas Association in Lafayette, Louisiana. 12,000 people there. 12,000 oil workers, energy providers there. They asked me to submit a speech, I did. They got it back and they said, please cut out all the environmental stuff. We only want to hear about the moratorium. I refused. I said I wouldn't do it. By then I called out to the President of the United States on CNN and asked him to come down here and see what was really happening, because what was being shown out there was not the truth. And I knew that because I saw it with my own eyes. So they needed me to come speak. So they said that they'd leave the environmental stuff in. Well, the thing about it was, I did my whole speech front to back. And I had so many oil workers come up to me afterwards and say, yours was the very best one. It was the best one because it wasn't a political, it was a political thing. It was just the truth. It was the fact that we love the Gulf and we'll do anything for it. And that we have to stand up and protect it. And I realized it wasn't the oil workers that was divided. It was the people that were putting on the show. A few weeks later, I got asked to go speak in Washington, D.C., and it was a proud moment for me because I got to speak in the same area where Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. spoke. But when I submitted my speech, they wanted me to take out everything that had to do with protecting our energy providers, including the moratorium, what was affecting my family. I said I would not do that because my family is first and foremost who I am speaking for. So they let me speak. And I had environmentalists come up to me afterwards and say, thank you for explaining that to me. We understand. You are a part of the ecosystem. We do not want you to suffer. The environmentalists weren't divided either. It was the people that was putting on the show. That's when I got to thinking about other things that go on in our lives and how they divide us constantly. They make us turn on each other when really we're not divided at all. Really, we want the same thing, a sustainable future for our kids. We want to be able to breathe clean air. We want clean water to drink and play in. They distract us with things. They distract us with, Charlie Sheen. They distract us with things that don't matter to us. I was looking in the Advertiser in Lafayette just the other day, and Samantha Joy had come out with a report about how bad the conditions were in the Gulf. How many dead animals are laying on the bottom of that Gulf with dispersant. And if the dispersant is not breaking up on the bottom of the Gulf, it's not breaking up on the shoreline either. That was on page 5. On page 1 was a story about a politician they called Mr. Personality. They think we're stupid. I don't care about Mr. Personality. They think we do, but we don't. But here's the trick. They have convinced us that we have no voice. They have convinced us that we don't care about the 90 dead dolphins that have floated up since last month in this Gulf. When I know that we do. I know that we understand that we're all mammals. But they decided that for us. Well, I'm taking it back. I'm taking it all back. Here's the truth, people. That oil that's out there, that's not our natural resource. We are the natural resource. We are. Our children are. Our children are. They're our future. We wouldn't go to another country and try to take their oil if we realize that it's the people there that are the natural resource. It's the people there that are going to provide for education. It's the people that are going to provide for the future. Not the oil. It's us. And if everybody knew that, if you knew the power that was within you to stand up and be strong and be brave and change your world and make a better day and make a clean air and clean water as a human right, we would all be in D.C. That's the truth. So here's what we got to do. We got to stop focusing on the fight that we have in our little area and start focusing on the fight for the people's heart. So that's what I intend to do. Tomorrow morning I'm going to get up, I'm going to walk to Washington, D.C. Here's why. Some people might say that's insane. Some people might say that's insane. And they're right, it is. But here's the deal. I've been studying every important movement in this world. Everything that happened good in this world. And it all came through sacrifice. All of it. From the revolution, everything, every single thing. I'm willing to sacrifice. I have 6 beautiful babies. And I'll give if you're a mother, you know, you'll give every single thing you have for them. And the truth of the matter is, all the babies are my babies. And I'll gladly sacrifice for them. So I'm going to walk every single step to Washington, D.C. And all along the way, I'm going to remind people that, first of all, we're not stupid. One person can make a difference. It's what's in here that matters. Second of all these small fights that we have, we're going to combine them into one movement for clean air and clean water across the nation, across the world. Watch out, because here we come. We're going to walk our walk. It's time to walk the walk. Truth of the matter is, they came down here and they talked a lot. In fact, they're on TV and newspapers everywhere talking a lot about how they're cleaning up everything and taking care of everything. But there's still oil on my shores, and there's dead baby dolphins coming in, and there's sick kids. It's time to walk the walk. I'll walk the walk. You guys walk with me. Say, I'll walk with you.
I'll walk with you.
Please say, walk with me.
I'll walk with you.
Thank you. Here's what I need from you. I need a full-out assault against BP and their advertising saying everything's okay, because we know it's not. That means if you see an ad in the newspaper, please call that newspaper and please tell them that it is unacceptable. Send them the pictures that we have. Miss Lori, where are you at? She's got them. Miss Denise. Send them to Lean. Send them to Miss Mary Lee. Walk your walk. I'm also going to need to make sure that if I'm going to walk to Washington, D.C., this makes the biggest possible impact. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to remember when you were a little kid, before everybody got hold of you, and they hurt your feelings, and they knocked you down, and they told you were less than you were, and they said you couldn't be everything that you know you can. And I need you to get rid of all that stuff. And I need you to open your heart. I need you to remember the love, the openness, and I want you to spread it. I want you to spread it like fire to everybody you know. And when you do it, you remind them that one mother of 6 is walking her big butt to Washington, D.C. for them. Can you do that for me?